So I'd like to talk a little bit about the work that I do, somatic psychotherapy. You may not know what the word somatic means. Somatic is talking about our bodily experience. All of us, human beings, we have thoughts, which we often call mind, and we have a physical body that we inhabit. And we often talk about them as separate, but actually they're connected. And our somatic experience is the experience of ourselves as body. So how we move in the world, when we get butterflies in our tummy, when we're nervous, when we go red in the face and our neck tightens up if we're angry. All of those are somatic experiences, a much broader range than just that little snippet. And so the work that I do is the work of a psychotherapist or a counsellor, where I'm talking with people about difficulties they're having in life, and we're including the bodily responses the whole time, because how our body responds to things is actually a huge part of the information we need to be able to live a balanced life in the world, to be able to actually manage our life in the world. A comment that I quite often get from people who come to somatic psychotherapy sessions who have done counselling before is that just talking about things was useful for their understanding, but in fact it didn't manage to change any of their behaviour in the external world. The same sorts of difficult things kept happening, and they kept finding themselves in the same situations. The wonderful thing about working with the body as well as the mind, about the two together, is that you can actually have some very real choices about how to behave differently, not just in what you're thinking, but actually in the experience of your body in situations. And even though I've been doing this work for more than 20 years, I'm still routinely amazed, in the most wonderful way, at how changing a couple of subtle things about your body's experience completely changes a whole lot of external things for you, about how you feel in the situation, about how you move towards what you want in the world or away from what you don't want in the world. So working somatically, working with the body as well as talking, really does bring noticeable changes to how you are and how you manage yourself in the world and in relationship to other people. So it's including these elements about our lived experience in the body that makes somatic psychotherapy different to other forms of counselling and psychotherapy. So part of a session will always be sitting, talking, as you would expect from a normal counselling session. Some of the talking will be about directing your attention to how your body responds to what you're talking about, and starting to notice that it's not just your thoughts that are affecting your behaviour and affecting how you feel, but it's also your body's responses. Also in sessions of somatic psychotherapy, sometimes we practice body-mind exercises that give you a chance to experience different ways of working with your body. So you get to experience different feeling states. There are a whole range of exercises. Some of them are done sitting in the chair. Occasionally we stand up and do them. Some of them are things you already know how to do, like yawning or humming, but we would do them in a particular directed way. Some of the other exercises have wonderful names like eat-laying breaths or setting down the world. You'll have to find out more about those in a session. So what kind of people come to somatic psychotherapy sessions? You know, almost anybody can benefit from somatic psychotherapy. People like you and me who just go about their day-to-day life but get stuck at points, who notice that there are certain parts of their life that aren't flourishing. It might be about having relationships, or it might be about standing up for yourself at work. It could be just about a sense of personal growth and wanting to live to your fullest potential. And also, somatic psychotherapy is particularly useful for ongoing difficulties like depression, like anxiety, like difficulties with confrontation. Elements that clearly have a bodily response as well as a thinking component. Somatic psychotherapy is particularly useful in dealing with crisis situations or difficult situations in life. Perhaps we're dealing with the end of a long-term relationship or the death of somebody very close to you. Those sorts of issues too can be dealt with somatic psychotherapy, because the body responds as well as our thoughts and our feelings. One of the best descriptions that I've heard for this work is that it helps you to feel as good as you can, in spite of everything. It's true that we often can't control the things that happen externally. We can't necessarily control the weather or other people's behaviour, but what we can do is change things within ourselves so that we feel as good as we can, as good as possible in the current circumstances. That is one of the most enormous values of this work. If you'd like to know more about the work, the best way is to come and experience a session, because it's more than just thinking, it's actually bodily experience as well.